I think it's highly likely that they will do that. In fact, I think two of the recent tests this year displayed capabilities that are at least close to that of intercontinental ballistic missiles. And now with the new president coming in the South, would be typical North Korean behavior to stage some kind of new provocation to greet the new government as it comes in. So no one knows for sure, but I would not be at all surprised if an intercontinental ballistic missile is tested. Well, I think he does see that the possession of capabilities that can reach the United States serves as a deterrent against the U.S. And while at the same time perhaps believing that North Korea can endure the continued pressure of sanctions. And in fact, he may also feel that the United States is distracted right now by the war in Ukraine, by Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. And this is an opportune time to continue to display the technological advances that North Korea has made. All of these are potential factors that contributed to the decision to start a whole new program of tests of missiles of various ranges. I think it does create a new challenge for the incoming South Korean government. And I hope that its announced intention to give greater priority to strengthening the bilateral security relationship with the United States will contribute to some new initiatives that could perhaps put more pressure on North Korea to resume negotiations and to reaffirm the commitment to maintaining tight sanctions until North Korea agrees to steps towards de-escalation. Efforts towards negotiating a peace agreement for the Korean Peninsula, together with denuclearization. It involves diplomatic normalization. It involves economic support to the reconstruction and recovery of the North Korean economy. I mean, the tools are familiar, but I think the Biden administration has been as frustrated as its predecessor in the difficulty of persuading North Korean diplomats even to sit down and discuss these issues. So again, hopefully other factors may influence Kim Jong-un's decisions, including the increasing U.S. strategic competition with China. But again, there seems to be no magic wand that can persuade Kim Jong-un to negotiate. So we may have to continue to resort to escalating pressure of sanctions in the hope that some of the familiar incentives will persuade Kim Jong-un to return to the process of diplomacy. Well, I would hope that North Korea will come to the conclusion, despite its voting with the Russians at the UN General Assembly, that it will come to recognize that a world in which great powers can dictate terms to smaller states, in which they can change international borders by force, is a less safe world for North Korea, and that it'd be much smarter for the North Koreans to look for ways to develop more normal relations with the rest of the world. And that includes, of course, denuclearization and de-escalation of tensions on the Korean Peninsula. A lot will depend on how the conflict in Ukraine evolves. And of course, the ultimate stance of China is going to be important. Right now, the support and cooperation that China is providing to Russia is likely to produce an escalation of tensions between the democracies of the Asia-Pacific region and China. And I think that it's timely that South Korea has a new president, president-elect, who is more prepared to work with the United States in imposing costs on China for its destabilizing behavior. So how exactly this will affect North Korea, it's hard to say. But as I said, the world is not a safer place when the great powers are able to change international borders by force. And hopefully that will dawn on Kim Jong-un sooner or later. And my impression is that the incoming president will certainly pay more attention and be a bit more outspoken about North Korean human rights violations. But I don't think it's going to become the number one issue in the new president's approach to North Korea. I think the focus will still be primarily on security issues, and working with the United States more closely than the previous administration to increase the pressure on North Korea to negotiate and to strengthen the defense and deterrence posture in the meantime, to make sure North Korea doesn't see any openings for launching direct aggression on the Korean Peninsula. I understand that the new president is open to dialogue with the North under the right conditions, but there too, I don't think he's going to be coming to the North as eager for dialogue as was the case with the previous government. So I think you're going to see a much closer alignment in approaches between Washington and Seoul with the inauguration of the new president. If there are further tests of intercontinental systems and other indicators that North Korea is further mastering the technology of delivering nuclear warheads at intercontinental distances, the level of concern is going to rise pretty fast in Washington, particularly if North Korea fully abandons all constraints on its testing programs. So in that sense, the tougher line, I think, that is likely to be taken by President Yoon Suk-yeol will contribute to a unified approach, but whether, as I was saying earlier, whether this is going to translate into a more effective strategy for bringing North Korea back to the negotiating table, that remains to be seen.